name is Karabo Motshidisi Utloa. I'm one of the project engineers on the R52. I am a design and construction project manager within the northern region, or the former northern region within Gauteng province. So we started the project, or we've commenced the contract on the 15th of May in 2024, and we'll proceed for the next 36 months inclusive or excluding our 4 months mobilization period, where we used to plan, get to understand the scope of the area, what type of skills are required, what type of skills are actually there. So after that 4 months period, after establishing our site, getting our teams ready, we start a 36-month contract period, which should end around September 2027.
Now, what we did is to ensure that when we concentrate on the permanent works, we ensure that firstly we focus on the bypass for temporary roads. So we ensure that during the temporary road, we source out the materials to be used on the pavement layers.
What we are doing, we are widening the road prism. So what we see right now, or what might not be seen right now, but before, you would have seen a very narrow cross-section. So you would have seen a 3.5 lane cross-section with narrow shoulders, where you'll find that as the road proceeds from a north to south, pretty much from Koster to Rustenburg, it actually does undulate. So undulate meaning that it does roll from some flat areas of it to actually a more rolling terrain. And so you find that when a road traverses terrain like that, you find that there are some sections of the route which are difficult to climb.
We have the installed subsoil drainage. Its function is assist by trapping the water rising from the ground, because now when you have this kind of issues, then we protect your layers from being affected by moisture. Then there's a pipe, it's a perforated, it's being installed there, then put it underneath it, so it will daylight the water towards the lowest point where you've got your culverts.
Well, the use of the culvert is to direct water from a certain area whereby it might be flooded, directing it to your rivers or your local dams.
Then here we've got the rock face. This is a sandstone. So this sandstone, it's at this stage, some of the parts are unstable. So, but you can't shape it in an angular form because of its solid rock. So to make it safer, we can, in this project, we can put a rock netting, of which you drill your holes there so that it can anchor on top of, it holds the wire mesh, meaning that's your geotechnical material to protect the rocks.
So what we find here is that when you are moving from Koster to Rustenburg, which is our kilometer 0 is actually in Koster to Rustenburg, when you're moving in a northern direction, you have undulating or rolling terrain. That's fine when you're traveling from Koster to Rustenburg, but when you're traveling from Rustenburg to Koster, it becomes very difficult for vehicles to climb up the steeps that we have. And so according to the SANRAL design guidelines for geometry, actually what happens when a vehicle which is very heavy, it proceeds through a terrain that in some cases when the speed drops below 60 kilometers an hour, we need to provide a climbing lane. So the climbing lane separates the heavy vehicles from the fast moving vehicles so that it does improve congestion and it does reduce the chances of having a collision when people have very unsafe overtaking opportunities. And so the climbing lanes and widening of some sections like the tight curves to actually accommodate a higher speed, so which is the 120 kilometers an hour in some safe sections, it does give a more forgiving road cross section for most vehicles to proceed.
My name is Itumele Nsegone. I'm the Stakeholder Relations Coordinator in SANRAL. My role as the Stakeholder Relations Coordinator is to engage stakeholders in the main, members of the community. When communities buy into our projects, it becomes easy for us to implement what we want to do.
I'm in grade level CE2. My package here in Rubex is culverts. I'm installing culverts. Working in this project, it's a privilege for me to be part of this project with Rubex and SANRAL. They've made a lot of change in my life because I've learned a lot of things in this project, especially when coming to quality, their work is very quality. They make sure that you do quality work.
We do provide training as well in communities. In some municipalities, we would have what we call community development projects, which are labor intensive, which are designed to benefit communities.
Ke student there for mo projecteng yana. Ha ke tla mo projecteng yana, ntho e ke tlo ithuta yone gore ka dithuta ka road construction. Jaka yone skill opportunities ba re fileng sone sena e ke nagana se tla lifta community ka ha the projects ne fela e sti gona le something se slogotseng le community.
Ke nna pele no Mintlele, and I was a former learner mo Rubik's Construction ne ke tsa NQF. Mo tlaseng re tsa health and safety le monitor and costs. Ha re fetsa mo tlaseng re ile go di practicaleng. I did my practical ra ya go di siteng ba re bontsha ba re botsa le dipotso dio tse ntse re di etsa go tlaseng.
When there's no buy-in in communities, really, we would experience a lot of protest, community unrest. There would be delays in terms of project implementation.
So we have improvements such as the climbing lanes, improvements such as the wider cross-section within the rural part of the section. But as you move into Costa, we have more of an urban feel. So they will introduce the median to kind of prevent the cross movements between the urban sections from one side to the other part of town. Within Riachile, we'll have street lights there, we'll have sidewalks as well, because remember, as you move into an urban section, you have more a difference in the type of land use activity in that area. So there you want to accommodate non-motorized transport, pedestrians, people cycling, or animal-drawn carts, but you find it in the road reserve on the R52. You wouldn't expect that, but we want to at least provide some ways that people can still proceed and move about in that area, in the town of Costa as well as the Riachile section.
I would just like to keleboge SANRAL for giving us this opportunity, because if it wasn't for SANRAL giving Rubex this such a platform, we wouldn't be here. So I would like to thank SANRAL for uplifting a young man in the industry and also teaching a young man how this construction thing goes.
SANRAL, building South Africa through better roads.